Hi everyone, it's Teacher Janelle. I hope you're having a great day. I have a question for you. Do you think that you can change the world? That's a really, really big question. And you might think, wow, I'm little. I don't think I can change the world. Well, I think you can, and I have a book today about that. So, I want you to listen to this book, and I want you to think about the things that we can do to change the world. It's called Ordinary Mary's Extraordinary Deed. The author, the person that wrote the story, his name is Emily Pearson, and the illustrator is Fumi Kosaka. The illustrator is the one who draws the pictures. Ordinary Mary was so very ordinary that you'd never guess she could change the world. This ordinary kid, she did. She changed the world. One ordinary day, skipping on her way from her ordinary school to her ordinary house, she passed an ordinary vacant lot filled with ordinary bushes growing ordinary berries. Ordinary blue and juicy, luscious, lovely berries. Well, Ordinary Mary picked the ordinary berries and brought them in a big brown bowl to Mrs. Bishop's porch. What? Left a big brown bowl on Mrs. Bishop's porch? That sneaky kid, she did. This made Mrs. Bishop very, very happy. So she baked a big batch of blueberry muffins and thought of 5 people who might have brought these beautiful berries, then secretly gave each a plate. How great! 5 people got a plate. One of those 5 was her paper boy, Billy Parker, and when Billy saw his name on a note in the driveway on a plate, he quickly parked his bike and ate every crumb. Oh, yum, 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 he ate every crumb. This made him so glad that the next 5 people got their papers on the porch and not in the bushes, where he often threw them. In fact, they were handed right to them. One of those was Mr. Morey, who was so amazed that he smiled for 10 hours on the airplane, then said to 5 different people who had heavy bags, "Here, let me help you." He still smiled, and they did too. One of those 5 was Mario, whose cranky little boy James stopped crying when Mr. Morey played peekaboo with him until their ride came. When he waved goodbye, Mario exclaimed, "How strange that stranger would be so kind." And then the next day, when he was out shopping, once, twice, 5 times, he did something nice for 5 different people, 5 times without stopping. One of those 5 was Joseph, old and bent and gray. In front of him, in line at the produce stand. When he said, "I guess I counted wrong. I don't really need these oranges," little James reached out to him with an orange from their basket, and Mario put a coin in Joseph's hand and said, "Here, take this. The oranges are on us." As Joseph shuffled to the bus, his heart was full and his eyes were wet, and his hands did helpful things for the next 5 people he met. One of those 5 was Sahar, a college girl who was off to see the world and stopped at Joseph's shop. When her bag broke and her things fell all over the floor, she said, "Oh no, what will I do?" Joseph said, "This is for you," and he gave her a new bag woven with his own hands in red and purple and green. "Oh, thank you," she said. "It's the loveliest bag I've ever seen." When Sahar left, she felt sunny as rain, and she just had to shine on 5 people soon. One of those 5 was Sophia, whom she met on a boat, looking like the world might end, looking like someone without a friend. "What beautiful blue eyes you have," Sahar said. and they're just the color of the flowers in your lovely dress." "Yes," said Sophia. "Oh, yes," said Sahar. The beautiful blue eyes shed a happy tear, and when the boat trip was through, Sophia called 5 people to make them happy too. One of those 5 was Tom, her son, the doctor, who was having a very hard day. "Hi," she said. "I love you, Tom." "Well, how great to hear your voice," he sighed. "I always need my mom." Dr. Tom was so cheered up that on his next break, he bought a big bunch of bright balloons for 5 young patients, and he handed them right then and there. One of those 5 was Peter, a little boy who went home from the hospital that very day. Gratitude for the big bunch of bright balloons filled him and thrilled him and spilled out of him and onto the next 5 people who came his way. One of those 5 was Eric, a teenage boy whose sacks and such were way too much. When one dropped on the sidewalk, Peter stopped his play and rushed right over saying, "Super Wheels to the rescue." Well, Eric no longer stressed. He was very impressed and made a mental note that very afternoon to help 5 people and do it soon. One of those 5 was Di, his 10-year-old sister, who didn't have many friends and was painfully shy. When Eric said, "Hey sis, want to come to the park and learn how to ride my skateboard?" she looked at him wide-eyed. "Serious?" she cried. "Sure," he said. And because of her brother, Di decided maybe she could be a friend to another 5 others. One of those 5 was Louise, a homeless woman who lived under the trees. She could hardly believe her ears when she heard Di say, "May my brother and I buy you a hot dog and a drink at that stand over there?" Could it be true? Someone actually cared enough to give her food and a smiley-faced ring that was practically new? Louise was so pleased that she decided that even though she had nothing, she would find 5 others and give them something. One of those 5 was Amara, who lost her wallet in the park. Louise found it, full of 5s and 10s and 20s. Oh, what could she do with all that money? But she found Amara's name and called her home, and over she came. Amara was so impressed that Louise was honest with money was something that she clearly needed, that she offered her a job in the store and vowed to do something generous for 5 people more. One of those friends was Kate, a woman on vacation who wanted to see a show she'd heard was a sensation. "Oh no," she said, "it's sold out, but I'm going home tomorrow." And her face filled with sorrow. Amara held out her ticket. "I live here," she said. "I can go any time. Take mine." Kate loved the show and was so touched that she thought buying 5 presents for 5 people back home would be really fun. And one of those 5 presents was a little heart necklace for Mary, her niece, and you should have seen her eyes light up in surprise. Mary? What? Ordinary Mary? Yes, ordinary Mary's extraordinary deed had come full circle, and on its way it had changed the lives of every person living. You see, when Mrs. Bishop made muffins from Mary's blueberries, not only the paper boy Billy Parker, but the other 4 people too, made 5 people smile, and those 5 did too. And after a while, in only 16 days, love was sent to every person everywhere. Just see how it went. Look at all those numbers. Mary was the one, and her deed caused this many people to experience love. Well, 30 billion is way more than all the people on the planet. So after everyone had a share and everybody knew that somebody cared, there was even love left over. The world was changed, and thousands and millions and billions agreed. It was all because one ordinary day, ordinary Mary, did a perfectly ordinary, stunningly earth-shaking, totally extraordinary deed. I hope you enjoyed my story. I asked you a question at the beginning about whether you thought you could change the world. I don't always feel like I can. I feel like there are things that go on in the world that are really, really, really hard to solve. But I think we can show kindness, and we can show love, and we can do what we can to help people feel like they're loved. And then they may help people feel like they're loved, and it'll grow from there. Teacher Janelle misses you so much and looks forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.